of the mistake by the lake, all those the city, the river on fire, or the nasty downtown area. For some reason, the top players, we could offer them all kinds of money. They don't want to come here. And I think it's their loss because there's not a better place to play in front of Jacobs Field. There's not a better fan crowd that's going to cheer you on than Gund, not necessarily Gund Arena, but I like Richfield, the Coliseum. Right. But the Cleveland fans, if you win and they fall in love with you, you have the world at your feet. And the players outside of this area just don't realize that, and they choose to go elsewhere. And you get the guy in Florida, and he messed up his shoulder, and Roger Clemens, and he won a Cy Young this year. But I think he would be better. He wants a World Series ring. I'm sure he would trade in a World Series ring for that Cy Young award, but he chose to go there, so that's their decision. Everyone's got to live their own life. If anyone's watching and you have a relative who's a top athlete, tell them to come to Cleveland. We've got great things going on here. Hey, listen, I got to go to a break. Thanks for the call. You got anything else, give me a call back. All right, it's time to go for a break here on the Cats channel 29 and 35. I'm Galen Floyd. This is Sports Talk, the last one of 1997. We still have a lot to talk about. Top stories 1997. I want to hear from you. Phone lines are open. Call.
Show you're cool. Get your cool stuff at Cool Gear. If you can hang it, wear it, or drink from it, it's at Cool Gear. We're so cool, we've got the hot beer merchandise you can't get anywhere else. Neons, clothing, mirrors, inflatables, barware. We'll make sure your college dorm or rec room has everything it needs. At Cool Gear, we'll turn your place into a party. The coolest store in Northeast Ohio is Cool Gear in the Thursdays Plaza, Canton. Don't trust your cool to anyone else. The event that rocks Ohio is happening now at Courtesy Auto World. For the entire year of 1998, pay just $98 a month on your choice of a new 98 Neon or new Dakota. Yes, $98 a month. And at Courtesy, your manufacturer's scheduled maintenance is free. Save now during the year-end clearance sale at Courtesy Auto World, Route 59 and 14, Ravenna.
Always drive with Courtesy. Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge.
Hello there. I'd like to welcome you to Psychic Talk USA.
Do you have a daughter who's a teenager?
Yeah.
You're a single mom?
Yes.
It's a lot for you to handle, but you've done a wonderful job so far. You've done a lot better without him than you would have with him.
Everyone who calls will be able to try a free reading from 5 different psychics. That's right, 5 different expert psychics, and it's free today.
What you're feeling towards your husband right now, you need to kind of let it go.
Yeah.
Because it's not all his fault.
We just got into a fight just now.
The issue was small, too.
Yeah, it was something, I had said something that I didn't mean what I had said. I'm over at a friend's house, and she had just called like 10 minutes ago, and she goes, you need to call these people. They'll make you feel better.
Wow, are these women making sense to you?
Yeah.
Call in now. Everyone will get to try out 5 amazing psychics for free. It's on us, so don't miss it. Dial right now.
1-800-424-8894.
You're watching The Cat, channels 35 and 29.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. I am Galen Floyd here on the Cat. Steve French is away, but he will be here in 2 weeks. You have me tonight, and I'll be back here next week. So what we don't cover tonight, we can always wrap up in 1998, the first show of 1990. This, you know what? This is a dream, because one of my dreams has always been to be on TV. When I was a kid, I used to watch The Tonight Show and dream of being famous. Now, being on Sports Talk does not make me famous by any means, but it's a start. And just the fact that I'm hosting the last show of 1997 and the first show of 1998, I'm on cloud 9. I love it. Sports Illustrated, get a shot of this. This is Dean Smith. He retired this year from college basketball. If you get a chance, pick this issue up. It's a good Sports Illustrated. Sometimes Sports Illustrated, they tempt you with the cover, and then you look inside, and the stories suck. But I got a caller who wants to talk about college football, so that gives me a good chance to go into this. You know why college football is not as big as I think it could be? There's too many sponsors. It's so commercial now, and I'm going to give you just a brief rundown. How many bowls here? 1, 2, 4, 6. There's over 20 bowl games on this page right here. This is the viewer's guide. And no one's paying me for this. Once upon a time, we had the Sun Bowl, the Liberty Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Gator Bowl, the Florida Citrus Bowl, Cotton Bowl, Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl. Now, in 1997, we have the Northwest Sun Bowl. We have the Equity Liberty Bowl. We have the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. We don't have just a bowl. We have the Outback Bowl, which is sponsored by the Outback Steakhouse, which has good food. We don't have just the Gator Bowl now. It's the Toyota Gator Bowl. We don't have just the Florida Citrus Bowl. It's the Comp USA Florida Citrus Bowl. Where's my favorite one is somewhere. Oh, instead of just a bowl game, we have now the Insight.com Bowl. What happened? Where did we go wrong? Caller, go ahead.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'd like to talk a little bit about a comment Coach Cooper made.
Oh, what comment did Cooper make? I didn't hear anything.
Well, at the Michigan game, a caller to his radio show asked him if YSU went national title, would you schedule the Buckeyes?
I'm sorry, I didn't follow you.
If YSU went the 1AA title, would OSU schedule the Penguins in football? He said yes. Do you think a university should be forced to live up to a promise the coach made on a radio show?
I'm unaware of what the comment was. Kind of enlighten me a little bit more what you're trying to say.
Well, what happened was a caller asked him if YSU, Youngstown State,
right,
won the 1AA title,
right,
would a Buckeye schedule the Penguins?
And he said he would?
Yeah. Do you think a university should be forced to live up to a verbal agreement the coach made on a radio
No,
show?
of course not. And they're not going to. Not just because he makes a comment like that. Let me ask you a question, though. Would you like to see that matchup?
Oh, yeah.
So, okay, so there's fan interest. So you never know. People want to see. For some reason, and I said last week or 2 weeks ago when I was on here, I'm the biggest Ohio State fan in the world. But for some reason, Ohio State is kind of like the Steelers, or they're like your team, but yet people like the old Browns used to be. People loved them, but yet they didn't. They always knocked them for some reason. And for some reason, people like to see Ohio State fail. And if they don't want to see him fail, they turn tail and go to Michigan, become Michigan fans. And I never understood that. Like in basketball, if Ohio State plays Kent State, people want Kent State to win. And it's not just about the underdog. People just want to see Ohio State lose to a lower team because they don't like them for some reason. And here's another example. OU, the Bobcats, they have a patent out on the name Ohio.
Yeah.
They don't want Ohio State to consider to use the word Ohio for any marketing purposes or entertainment purposes. And I can only think that's because people, for whatever reason, are just jealous of Ohio State.
Well, you gotta understand, this has been going on for like 5-6 years. Every other major school state is on OSU schedule to like 2004. The only school that isn't on a schedule is YSU. But Ed Nelson, our head coach, when Miami was looking at him, said he was not qualified.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a war going on between both schools.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
I tend to believe the only way we're going to get a shot at these guys is the legislature tells them, look, either you put this team on a schedule or you don't go to a bowl game. Let's see how much money they want to lose.
Well, let's see what happens.
I don't care what some of the other callers got to say about this situation.
Okay, all right. Thanks for the call. Right. You're on a Sports Talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Okay. I heard something on Channel 5, but I didn't get a chance to catch it about the Sugar Bowl, and it said some fans were disgruntled.
Well, it's not selling like previous years, and I can only imagine because the winner of this game is not going to really mean anything as far as a national championship.
Yeah, then I heard on ESPN last night that they had 9,000 tickets left in Ohio and then 6,000 in Florida State.
You know what? And that doesn't surprise me, but what surprises me is how the games that the Ohio State Buckeyes do when they go to a bowl game, they're always sellouts. Who are these people who are going, though, even buying all these tickets? No one loves the Buckeyes more than me. One, I can't afford to just up and go to the game. Two, I don't think I can get that much time off work to go down there and really have a good time. So maybe it's the economy. Nowadays, whether it's the college football students at Ohio State or the people, the boosters who usually go, maybe they can't afford to go this time. I don't know. Or maybe it's just not an interesting matchup that people want to see, even though I think it is an interesting matchup because it's one of the few times Ohio State gets a chance to play one of the top Florida teams. I mean, we always miss out on playing it because we're always shooting for the Rose Bowl, and we always play the Pac-10 champion. I want to see us go against the old Miami Hurricanes. I want to see us go against the Gators and Steve Spurrier. I want to see us go against Tennessee and Peyton Manning. I want to see us go against these teams. When white people don't want to see it, maybe they want someone to watch it on TV. I don't know.
Well, the whole thing is that I'm a loyal Buckeye fan since the Woody Hay days.
All right.
And the thing is that I heard also last night on ESPN that they're thinking about trying Jackson as a wide receiver against Florida State.
You know what? Slash did it. I think that's going to be one of the trends now.
Yeah.
You know what? I got a comment on that, but hold on. I'm going to put you on the hold, and we're going to go to a break. I'm going to come back to that when we come back to more Sports Talk here on the Cats, channels 35 and 29.
Hi, this is Stan Pyatt.
I'm Steve French.
And I'm Jim Mydock. Join us tomorrow morning for your chance to win a $2,000 diamond tennis bracelet.
With 38 gorgeous diamonds and 14-karat yellow gold from Sam's Emporium at the corner of Exchange and Spicer near Akron U.
What a Christmas present. Just turn us on to win tomorrow morning, 5:30 to 10 on the Talk of Akron, WNIR.
The Talk of Akron, WNIR.
The event that rocks Ohio is happening now at Courtesy Auto World. For the entire year of 1998, pay just $98 a month on your choice of a new 98 Neon or new Dakota. Yes, $98 a month. And at Courtesy, your manufacturer's scheduled maintenance is free. Save now during the year-end clearance sale at Courtesy Auto World, Route 59 and 14, Ravenna.
Always drive with Courtesy. Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge.
And we're back with more sports talk on this final sports talk of 1997. Don't worry, just in 1997. I will be back next Monday. Steve will be back in 2 weeks. Of course, I want to say I am Galen Floyd, and you can catch me when I'm not here on the Talk of Akron, WNIR, on Sunday morning, right after the NFL preview, which I think is coming to a conclusion in the next week or so. So you'll have me for the full time, finally. Let's go back to this call. Go ahead, finish up your comment.
I agree with you on Ohio State. They don't get no respect from anybody, you know. And I heard last night on the news, just caught the tail end of it again, about what was one of the Ohio State basketball players hurt his wrist or busted his wrist or something.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that?
I don't know, but I did hear something like that. I don't know the name of the player, though.
Yeah.
But it's not going to matter because they have a winning record right now. But we're still a few years away from being a good team. So it's unfortunate when any athlete is injured. But
yeah, well, I'd be there in New Orleans, but I'm sight impaired, so I couldn't see it. But
okay.
You
can hear it, though.
Definitely be there watching them. They'd have one ticket less.
Well, hey, thanks for your call.
You're welcome.
Keep watching.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Sports Talk, go ahead.
Hi, Galen. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I just want to tell you that I was flicking channels and happened to come by your program and tell you how proud I am of you in what you're doing. I don't know if you know who this is, but I can remember back a few years ago in the classroom you telling me that you wanted to be a sports announcer someday.
You must be one of my teachers, I'm assuming?
I think that's correct.
Who are you?
Well, I'll give you another little tip. Got you started in announcing basketball.
Oh, how are you?
Real good, real good.
You sound great. Well, you know what? There's lots of people who are involved. Whenever somebody has some amount of success, it's never just this person's drive alone. There's always little people, and I don't mean you little, but there's always people in the background pushing you or giving you that little extra boost, and you're one of those people. Well, and I thank you for giving me all the advice and support you've done throughout the years.
I appreciate that. Listen, you keep up the good work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Job, and you're very knowledgeable, and you're on your way, buddy. Hang in there.
Thanks a lot.
Goodbye.
Talk to you later.
Tough life so far.
Sports Talk. Hello?
Oh, this is not.
All right. Okay. So, you know what? Not every call can be a sports talk call. Some calls go elsewhere. I don't know. What was that? Did someone ask me about Latrell Sprewell from behind the camera?
Yeah, Latrell Sprewell.
All right. Let's go to Latrell Sprewell. And I got to get this out. This has been weighing on my mind for many weeks. You know, Latrell Sprewell is not going to be out selling grit somewhere, delivering grit, taking subscriptions to grit. Latrell Sprewell will be fine. And my brother just asked me this, and I told him, I said, you know what, tune in, and you'll find out what I think. Here's what I'm saying. Saying I'm sorry is just not enough anymore. And he goes, well, what about all the other players who did this and this? You got Charles Barkley. And you know what? I got a whole list. From Alomar spitting to Nick Van Exel shoving a referee, from Dennis Rodman headbutting players, kicking cameramen, talking about Mormons. I was going to say morons. Mormons. Alvin Robinson, all the problems he's had with his girlfriend problem. Now he's in jail. This guy was a former All-Star from Barberton. Now his butt's in jail because he just can't keep it together. Jose Canseco, one year he crashed his car in Florida into his first wife's car. Well, just this past offseason, he's been accused of allegedly smacking his second wife and pulling her hair. We all know Mad Max Vernon Maxwell going into the stands after an abusive fan. Scottie Pippen once threw a chair across the court and refused to go into a game because they didn't call his number for the final play. Rick Mahorn, if you recall, you're a Cavaliers fan, elbowed the hell out of Mark Price, essentially knocking him out for the rest of that season. He came back and played, but he was never the same again. Charles Barkley spit on a kid. He threw a man through a window. He's had numerous bar fights. He elbowed an Angolan basketball player in the '92 Olympics. Leon Lett was suspended for a year for drugs. Roy Tarpley has been suspended for life for drugs. Pete Rose has been banned for life for gambling. Mike Ditka, he was reprimanded for, he made a bet on the sidelines this season with his defensive coordinator over a play, and the cameras caught him pulling money out of his pocket, giving it to him, paying him off because the defensive coordinator won the bet. Rick Meyer was caught eating hot dogs on the sideline during the game, and Michael Westbrook during the offseason beat up his own teammate during spring practice. The season hadn't even started yet. And I got other incidents. So you want to go to other sports and look at that? Well, Mike Tyson was suspended for a year in a sport where the object is to knock the guy's head off. There are people dying in boxing from injuries. And you're going to suspend a boxer. And I'm not condoning biting the part of someone's ear off, but the fact is, people die in this sport. The object of the game is to win at all costs. You've got people hitting in the testicles in boxing. You got people thumbing people in the eye. People throwing people to the ground, wrestling. All kinds of things happen in boxing. But you suspend him for a year for biting part of someone's ear off. If Mike Tyson is suspended, then Latrell's got to be suspended. Latrell Sprewell, he's lucky that P.J. Carlesimo didn't even file an assault charge. It is unacceptable in our society and in sports to go up. I can't go up to my boss here at the Cat if he does something I don't like. Say he's riding my butt for something I do on Sundays or don't do. You know what? You're not supposed to do this. I can't go up to him and physically assault him because I don't like it and expect to keep my job. That's not how it works in the real world. And athletes, for some reason, we've put them on this pedestal. There's rules for us and there's rules for you. Well, you know what? Somewhere, some sports organization had to put their foot down. Whether the punishment fit the crime, is irrelevant. The fact is, he beat up his coach. That's sending the wrong message to players. That's sending wrong messages to fans. That's sending the wrong messages to teams in general. That's saying, okay, it's all right. We accept your apology. Go play. No, it is not all right. So you're suspended for a year. Too bad. Keep your hands to yourself. I don't go off and beat up my bosses. Mason doesn't go up and beat up his bosses. And I'm sure you right now, unless you're a postal worker somewhere, you have not gone up and beat up your boss and not expect to get fired and have your contract terminated. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing Charles. And I love Charles Barkley, but I'm tired of seeing him on camera making light of all the things he's done like it's no big deal. It is a big deal. Granted, if I was famous and I'm sitting there having a drink with a couple lady friends, some guy comes up and harasses me, I want to kick his butt too. But I've got to be aware of the repercussions. There's a great article in the Playboy this month, not just for the centerfold. There are great articles, and Grant Hill's in there talking about when he goes out with his friends. He tells them, "Hey, if you guys get into a fight, you're on your own, because I can't be involved in anything like that. Too many bad things can happen." He goes, "There was a fight one time. You know what? I walked out the door." And that's what I'm saying. When something comes up, you got to show some restraint. And one person, here's a great example right now. J.J. Stokes, a couple Monday nights ago, San Francisco versus Denver. Bill Romanowski, who I like, came up and spit in his face on national television. Now, if that was me, I don't know if I would have that much restraint. Now, maybe either J.J. Stokes, maybe he's a bigger person than most people, or maybe he just knew he couldn't beat Bill Romanowski. I don't know. The fact is, someone comes up and spits in my face, unless you're like Stone Cold Steve Austin or some huge guy, I'm coming back at you, and not with just some spit. I'm coming back. And you know what? I'll be back right after this break here on the Cat Sports Talk. I'm Galen Floyd. We'll be right back.
What's in a name? People recognize a name that's been established in their community. But what does a name really mean? Friedman, Damiano, and Smith means hard work. Our attorneys fight for accident victims. Friedman, Damiano, and Smith is known for a reason. We get results for our clients. Call Friedman, Damiano, and Smith. Let our experience work for you.
Call Friedman, Damiano, and Smith at 621-0070. Your concerns are our business.
Reverse, he's got it. Contain it. Oh.
Where did he go? That time.
Now it's down to 3. Johnson, big bucket for the Buckeyes. Etch Ohio State basketball highlights with head coach Jim O'Brien. Saturdays at 5:30 on the Cat.
Hey, if you like basketball, like the Buckeyes right there, guess what? We got college basketball coming up. Watch it. Sports Talk, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Terry Pluto's article today.
What about his article?
Well, it just seems like everybody's just coming down on Dwight. He basically talked about how he didn't think.
I seen the article.
Yeah.
You're right. I don't think he was coming down on Dwight as much as Terry Pluto is kind of funny. Sometimes I enjoy his articles. Sometimes I don't. I understand what he was saying. Maybe to reach a kid and a lower level, or a kid who might be getting in trouble or might have an opportunity to turn to drugs, by having Dwight Gooden go there and tell him not to do drugs might not be as effective as Kenny Lofton going to a school and telling his plight of coming from a project and how coming from a busted family and having friends do drugs in front of him and end up in jail, and the temptation is there. But hey, you know what? I'm here to say, I don't do it. Don't do it. Dwight Gooden saying that is not going to be as effective because he's done it and he didn't resist temptation. And like I said, I dig Dwight Gooden, but the fact is, him going to tell someone not to do it is kind of not as effective as Kenny Lofton doing it. You understand?
I don't see. That's why I beg to differ. I think it depends on what set of kids you're talking to. I mean, I spent the first half of my life in the inner city.
Mm-hmm.
Half of my life I spent in the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
I think some kids, that's what they see around them is drugs. If you're going to talk to goody Kenny Lofton, you got him in with this, don't do any drugs, say no to drugs speech. They're not going to listen to Kenny Lofton. But if they talk to somebody who's pretty much
been there,
the same development and what's going on, and much drugs in their home probably with their father or parents or somebody they know, they're going to listen to Dwight Gooden because Dwight Gooden, they're drugs.
Okay, you know what? Okay, I'll say this, and I understand your point, and you do have a point. But I think the bottom line is someone has to get out there and talk to kids.
I mean, you just can't say, Dwight can't talk to anybody.
Now, I came from an average, middle-class, black family. And there's no need to adjust your TV screens. Yes, I am a Negro. And I have friends who are in jail. I have friends who do drugs. And the temptation has been there for me. I just choose not to. I don't want to put anything like that in my body. And everyone has a choice to make. And hopefully the parents out there are raising their kids to make the right choice. If not, then yes, if an athlete can get through to somebody, then by all means, let them go out there and say what they have to say. Whether it's Dwight Gooden or Kenny Lofton, the bottom line is somebody's got to get out there and tell kids the temptation is out there, and you just got to say no. And that might sound like corny, just say no. And it is harder. It is hard sometimes. But the fact is, you know what's right and wrong. You got to do what's right and not do what's wrong.
Yeah.
It's your choice. Hey, thanks for the call. Sports Talk, go ahead.
Yeah, I was hoping to talk to you about the Latrell Sprewell thing there.
Knock stuff out quickly.
Well, you talked about Bill Romanowski spitting in J.J. Stokes' face. And
That's right.
I agreed with you on every aspect, but you know, J.J. Stokes was talking some stuff to him when he did that.
Yeah, but does that give you the right to spit in someone's face?
That doesn't give him the right to spit in someone's face, but I think that if they would crack down in the NFL on all the trash talking and the over-celebrating and all the, you know...
Okay, so here we go. Here's Latrell.
You wouldn't have those problems.
Someone's cracking down. So maybe now the next time someone is pissed off, I got to say it, pissed off at his coach, he's not going to attack him because he's going to think now.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. But you know something? Nobody's going to go up to Bill Romanowski's face from now on and start talking crap to him, are they?
You might have a point. Thanks for the call.
All right.
Sports Talk, quickly. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, I think you hit a red button there. You know, everybody's talking about how the sports players are, you know, like disgracing the audience or whatever, you know, and, you know, they're just getting a slap on the wrist for it. I think they should, you know, get penalized a lot harder, you know, where they would, like you said, think about it the next time they, you know, like Rodman.
That's right.
You know, they got Rodman out there, Barkley.
And you know what's the oddest thing this season? And I don't want to cause any bad vibes for him, but Dennis Rodman has been a pretty good boy this year.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I believe it's because of the money that he lost last year. So I think that's what it is, you know. But I just wanted to comment on that, you know, and let you know that, you know, you're absolutely right on that.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Hey, same here.
All right. Quickly, Sports Talk, go ahead. Sports Talk, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm interested in the Sprewell situation that's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
And what upsets me the most about it is that no one is saying anything about what Calissimo said to upset him.
Ma'am, it's irrelevant what he said.
Well,
the fact unless he called him an N-word, and even that doesn't justify attacking him. No other player has come out and said, oh, well, PJ said this to him. So we can only assume, no one was there to know what was said, but we can only assume that it had nothing to do with race. It was the simple fact of him writing Latrell.
I would hope so, but I would figure that your contract does not call for you showing up, getting yelled at, and belittled on the...
It happens in high school.